Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel, welcome back to another video, and for today's cooking video, I'm going to be kind of expanding off a video that I made long ago, actually, my very first cooking video. In that video, I showed you guys the basics of how to dice up, well in this case vegetables, but really anything, and then I don't think really talked about any other kind of basic knife cuts that you will encounter along the way. So in today's video, I'm just doing a little bit of prep for making some dinner tonight, so I thought I'd jump on and I'd show you guys a bit more kind of basic knife cuts, and we'll do a quick recap of the last video with the dicing. But yeah, that's what today's video is going to be all about, guys, so sit back, relax, and once again, if you guys want to follow along with the video as I'm doing it, hopefully, let me know down in the comments below, but hopefully I'm going at a pace that you guys are able to follow along at. You know, if at any point you need to maybe pause, rewind the video, please feel free to do so. Again, you know, I'm doing this videos for fun, but also to kind of hopefully teach you guys some new skill, or, you know, sharpen your skills if you've already been doing this for a little while. So yeah, let me know down in the comments below if my pace is good, if maybe you want me to speed things up sometimes, if I need to slow things down. So yeah, if you guys follow along, again, let me know. So yeah, if you guys try to follow along with my videos, again, just let me know how the pacing works for you. I know I try to go at a level that I think everyone can work with, but again, let me know. But yeah, that's today's video, guys. I'm going to be showing you some kind of other basic knife cuts. So yeah, in a second here, I'm going to get everything set up, and I'll talk to you about that. Alright guys, so in the interest of time for this video, I've already gone ahead and kind of partially prepped some of the things I'm going to be cutting. So I have a carrot here, we have a broccoli, which I'll touch on in just a second, and then I have a few peppers. I have a red, a yellow, and an orange, and I have an onion, which I've already peeled and cut in half, so we're, you know, kind of already ready to go. Now, the thing I want to start with first actually here is the broccoli, and for the cuts that I'm going to be doing today, I'm going to be showing you guys how to do kind of sticks or batons, or a Julienne cut, which is that really thin kind of thin stick-like cut that you see. And I'm also, I don't remember if I touched on it in the dicing video, but I'll give a quick recap on that. And then I also want to get into another kind of really fine dice, which is called the brunoise. But in order to get there, we need to go through the Julienne first. And if you guys are already kind of confused, don't worry, I'm going to explain everything in just a moment. But jumping back to the broccoli for a second, you might be wondering, how in the heck do I dice up or cut up a broccoli? And the answer is quite simple. The florets, or the flowers at the top, we're going to leave as is. I'm just going to cut them down a little bit smaller. But with the stem, you never want to actually waste the broccoli stem. So you want to cut your broccoli stem just under where the florets are. We're going to put that aside. I'm going to cut that later. And then you want to take off the very end of the broccoli stem, because it's very bitter and very tough, and it's going to look something like this. Now, you can take your knife, gently peel down kind of all those, you know, kind of ugly little stems that are sticking out of it. You don't want to go in too far, just kind of get it on the thin edge. And then once those are all gone, if it's still a little bit tough, you can go ahead, take your peeler, and just kind of peel it down until it's nice and smooth. And the benefit of this is that, A, you don't waste the broccoli. You know, I think a lot of people think, oh, I just eat, you know, the floret part. That's when they think of broccoli, that's what they think of. But for this application, I'm making a stir fry for dinner, so I want to cut up the stem. The stem is actually, you know, a little bit heavier, obviously, than the florets at the top, so it has a bit more depth of flavor. And if you're going to make something like broccoli soup, you definitely want to use the stem, just because you're going to get a lot more flavor out of it. And again, it's good for stir fry because it's so much tougher that it actually kind of holds up to cooking better and longer. So just go ahead and finish peeling that up. So again, you don't want to peel too much off, because if you peel it too far down, you're going to have nothing left. But peel it, once you feel on the side that it's all kind of nice and smooth in your hands, you are pretty much good to go. And again, we're going to be cutting it so thin in a second here that, you know, those little tough spots will just cook out when you actually cook it later. Alright guys, so now that this is peeled, now Julienne cut. You're probably wondering, what is it and how do I do it? Well, actually, before I get to the Julienne, you know what, let's actually flip over to the carrot for a second. Let's ignore the broccoli. Let's flip over to the carrot, and I'll show you what the basic baton cut looks like. Now, in order to start this, you can see I have a very big carrot here. So I'm just going to simply cut the carrot in half, and this is going to be almost much like I did in the dicing video, guys. It's pretty much the same thing, except we're not going to be cutting it into little cubes like we did with the dicing. So to make it manageable, cut your carrot in half, you know, and then you want to gently secure it on both sides, like so. And because of how I'm going to cut this later, I'm going to cut this into 3 parts. So you cut down the one edge there, gently hold it together. It'll obviously keep your fingers out of the way of the knife. So we're going to cut into 3. And then if I just want to make, like, you know, for carrot sticks, I can either leave it whole like this, or I can just simply cut it in half, and boom, there you go. That is your basic baton cut. Now, in order to do your julienne cut, that's kind of just the really, really thin version of this. Now, to make life easy, I'm actually going to start showing you that with the broccoli. So, same process. Find kind of a flat edge, secure it, and just like we cut the carrot, but you want to cut this thin as you possibly can. So, I'm going to cut 1. I'm going to cut, oh, that's a bit too thin. I'm going to cut 2. I think I'm going to cut this into about 4 pieces. So, the broccoli is a bit kind of hollow in the middle, but you can see there, it's a little bit thinner to start with. And then for my julienne cut, hopefully you guys can see this all right here. So with the julienne cut, I'm just going to take the knife, and on the thinnest edge possible, we're just going to cut little thin strips. All right, and you can see there, you know, if I hold up the broccoli, you can kind of see how thin it is compared to that big thick carrot that I cut. Now this carrot's a little bit kind of thinner than you would have for carrot sticks, but you guys get the general idea. So this is more of your basic baton cut, and this is your julienne. Now when we get over to the peppers and the onion, it'll be a little bit easier to show you, but I just wanted to show you that you can do it with kind of, you know, the thicker, heartier vegetables like this broccoli and this carrot. So just to show you guys one more time, I'll show you with the carrot now this time. Take one of these kind of thinner pieces, and I'm going to do the same thing. Just on the thin edge, and watch out for your fingers, but you just want to cut it down thinly, and then I have a plate here off camera, so I'm going to set it on there. So that's basically it for those two guys. I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to finish cutting these up, and then I'll come back and show you how to do it with the peppers. Alright guys, and while we're quickly on the topic, I just wanted to show you kind of the alternate way, and honestly, actually the better way that you can cut carrots into the julienne. So I did the first method where I basically cut the batons and I cut them thin. That does work if you're trying to do it quickly, but if you want to do it a kind of a more efficient way and actually get better results, the way to do it is to, again, you want to have your carrot peeled, and then you kind of choose to cut it in half, and either by hand cut thinner round pieces, or if you have a mandolin or something, or a slicer, you can always do it on the slicer and then, you know, cut the thin pieces. But for right now, I'd have a small piece. So in order to get the best results when you julienne a carrot, you want to first cut kind of thinner round pieces. So get your whole piece of carrot here, kind of cut it on a bit of an angle, a bit of a bias angle like so, and then you want to cut the round as thin as possible that you can get them. In my case, I don't want them horribly thin because I am making a stir fry, so, you know, I actually want them to hold up and not just kind of melt away under the heat. So you can see I have my rounds like so, and then you just want to maybe line up a couple, and at this point, again, just really cut really thin. You can see how little I have sticking out here. For better, let me show you. I have only about, you know, this much going at a time, and then you just want to gently slide your knife through and cut thin pieces. Of course, as I mentioned in all my other knife videos, make sure you keep your knuckles flat so your fingers don't get caught. You don't want to stick anything out, because then bye-bye, end of your finger. And then you can see here on the knife how I have these nice thin pieces, and they're all uniform in size. So that's the way that you want to go ahead and cut your carrots for julienne. Now, I'm going to go ahead and just finish cutting up all these ones here. Then we'll jump into the peppers and the onions, and we'll kind of finish this video off. So next up, I'm going to show you how to cut the onions. Now, conveniently, I already have some you know, kind of pre-cut bits, and I have a half that I cut. So really, this is kind of a julienne cut. Typically, when you're slicing onions, you would just say you're just slicing onions. But if you do cut them thinly, like we just did the carrots and the broccoli, you can call them julienne. So if you have just like your little thin bits here, like I do, you just kind of want to gather them up one at a time, and then again, just cut thinly right along them like so. It's that really super easy. Right, again, not too thick, not too thin. Right there, you have your sliced onions. And then, of course, if you already have your whole half, depending on how you want to cut it, like I want to actually slice these, so I want to cut it kind of widthwise. So, you know, instead of cutting along kind of the ridge like this way, I want to kind of cut it this way and almost into a little half moon so that it all falls apart in one go. So, in order to do that, just kind of just hold it on the board and just really get in there, cut it again as thin as you possibly can. Remember, Julienne is kind of the thinnest cut that there is for this style. So obviously, you know, work on your knife skills. Obviously, the thinner the better. You know, just keep practicing down until you get there. And that's basically how you cut the onion. So just quickly cut up the rest of this. And then you'll see here with cutting it, the whole half the way I did, you can see here that the layers just all peel off together. Had I cut it the other way, they don't necessarily break apart as nicely. And for the application of doing a stir fry where I kind of want the onion to really break up and kind of go everywhere, that's where you actually want to cut it. And next we move on to the peppers. Now let's start with this one because it's nice and small and easy. So there's two ways that I like to cut peppers. Say you're going to cut them for the grill, or even in my last video, I think I showed you I cut them for dicing. I would cut them straight down the middle, pull out the seeds, you're good to go. But since I want to cut these a little bit thinner for the Julienne, I'm going to cut it a different way. So in order to kind of cut it into one piece, you want to find kind of a flat spot so you don't get a lot of rolling of the pepper. And then what you want to do is you want to take your knife, you want to gently cut in until you kind of almost hit the seeds in the middle. And then once you feel that seed pack in the middle, which is attached to this stem, you want to just gently, with your knife hand, kind of cut and gently push away. And then with the other hand, you want to kind of pull back on the pepper to kind of expose it. And then you see there, you can cut right through. You can get off all the kind of nasty white part of the seeds. And then voila. If you really want to, you can also cut off the top and use it. It's all good to go. But at this point, you can see those seeds have all come out in one. You know, there's a little bit left behind, but there's not much to clean up there. So if you're going to be julienning peppers, or if you just need to cut a lot of peppers really quickly, that's the best way to do it. You don't have to spend a whole lot of time pulling the seeds out. And as I mentioned, you can see there's a bit of the little white part left in there. I'm just going to get my knife and just clean it up a little bit. Again, you don't want any of this white bit. That's just all bitter and doesn't taste good. So just put it off to the side. And then you can see now I have my whole pepper kind of filleted out in one pretty even piece. Now, in order to go ahead and cut it, just to do a quick recap, guys, if you're going to dice at this point, it's just like I did with the carrots. If you were dicing it, you would just kind of cut it into little sections like that. Then you would go ahead and dice it like so. But again, the point of this video is to show you guys how to do the julienne. So start with your your thinnest piece. Just get your knife in there. Actually, let me move these off to the side. Get your knife in there as thin as possible, and you want to just cut really thin, even strips. Now, I mentioned before about this other cut called a brunoise, which is the really small dice. So once you have your kind of thinner pieces, like so, of anything, or in this case the pepper, you want to then go ahead and bunch a few of them up. Right, that's what you do for normal dicing, and then you want to go ahead and cut the little squares out of those. And then in a second here, I will show you. There, you can see on the knife there, you can see how much smaller those dices are from something like this, which I cut before. So that's kind of your standard size dice, and then these little ones here, what you would call brunoise. So I'm just going to go ahead and finish cutting up this pepper, just again to show you guys. So for the julienne, I got my whole piece here. Again, hold it down nicely, cut thin slices. And remember, let the knife do the work, guys. You're basically just guiding it along, and you want to make sure your blade is always sharpened. And as long as it is, you just kind of guide it along where you want it to cut, and you let the knife do all the work. You can see there how thin those are. So that's basically your julienne. Now for my stir fry, I want them a little bit thicker than that, so I'm going to go ahead and cut them more into the baton cut. But that gives you guys kind of a quick little example of what I mean when I say julienne cut. And again, if you're following along, if you want to back up the video, follow along with what I'm doing, and then just practice makes perfect, guys. Just keep going out there practicing, and eventually you can cut things like this. Alright guys, so that's pretty much going to do it for this video. Again, I think I just wanted to kind of jump on here, kind of hopefully make it a little bit short and quick, easy to follow. Just showing you guys how to do these kind of other basic vegetable cuts. And really, if you combine the dicing that I did earlier and a little bit in this video with the Julienne and the baton cut, that's pretty much the basis for any kind of cutting you're going to do. And then now you guys kind of know the terms. So if you want to jump into cooking, or if someone says, hey, I need you to dice me some carrots, or I need you to julienne me some peppers, now you guys know the terminology. You guys know how to do it. Hopefully you guys understand. Again, if you're following along in the videos, let me know how my pacing is. If you guys are able to easily follow along, if you want me to speed it up a little bit, if you want me to slow it down a little bit. But as always, if you missed something or you didn't quite catch it, feel free to always back up in the video. Again, I'm doing this more so for you guys, to help you guys learn. You know, I can do this almost in my sleep, it feels like, so it's dead easy for me. So I hope you guys are enjoying these cooking videos. I'm trying to get back into it now after not having been around for a little while. So if you enjoyed this video, please give it a big thumbs up. Remember to subscribe to the channel and say hello to one of my new kittens, Miss Leia. I'll formally introduce both of them to you in another video. But yeah, just like that, guys, this video is over. Once again, I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you guys learned something from it. And let me know down in the comments if you have any questions, comments, anything like that. And I will see you all in the next one. Bye. Oh, and also, don't forget to like this video, share it, subscribe, all that good stuff. You guys already know the drill. You guys are all smart. I love all you guys. I'll see you all in the next one. Goodbye.